Hi, and welcome to the Josilyn Drake Show. I am your host, Josilyn Drake. We have a fun-filled show in store for you today. The fashion industry is a $385.7 billion industry employing an estimated 1.8 billion people. That includes many sub-industries such as menswear, luxury goods, children wear, and companies and professionals across the value chain. Working in roles ranging from design, development, to sourcing and logistics, to trade policy and compliance, to retail and marketing. Today's guest is a stylist who is here to help us up our fashion game. Welcome to the Josilyn Drake Show, stylist Sonia, and thank you so much for joining us on the Josilyn Drake Show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Sonia Atkins, and I'm known as a boutique owner, a stylist. I've been in the business about 5 years or so, and just enjoying life. I got a set of twins. My husband is Michael. He's an artist as well, so that's pretty much who I am.
Awesome. So what inspired you to go into the fashion industry?
Well, actually, I had started branding myself as the thrift shopping queen about 5 years ago, actually, and I had been thrifting for like 20 years, and at the time I started branding myself as a thrift shopping queen, I was a banker, and social media had become a phenomenon. And so when social media became a phenomenon, I thought, what better way to show our culture how to dress and save money on a dime. With me being a banker, I really was enthused about showing people how to save money and look fabulous. And so I decided to start showing the world that you can style and be beautiful and dress and look nice for less money, sometimes even wearing secondhand. So I decided to launch my business 5 years ago. I didn't know it was that long until I really researched a couple of days ago, like really how long it had really been. But it's been 5 years. I started in 2013, and so I decided to start posting on social media how much I was spending and looking great at the bank. And so from that point, God just inspired me to do a fashion show. And I was like, oh, Lord, how in the world I'm about to do this fashion show? I've never done a fashion show before. I've never really even modeled before. But I decided, God laid it upon my heart and just gave me the strategic plans and the people to touch bases with to get a fashion show together. And that's what started me launching styling and stuff about 5 years ago.
Awesome. I remember the days when you first started. Actually, I remember you taking me to the thrift store. Your words for me was pack a lunch. I remember that so well because, and literally you meant that's exactly what I should have done, packed a lunch, because when you take someone to the thrift store back in those days, we spend hours upon hours in there finding, jewels that are just inside of the thrift store for little or nothing.
Right.
And so can you kind of tell us the importance of, or give us some tips on how to thrift shop, whether it be at the thrift store or, walk Target, it just doesn't matter, or Saks, the importance of just to kind of staying within your budget and still knowing how to look fabulous with it.
Well, I would say, first of all, thrifting is a niche. That's not something that anybody can do. Everybody can't go in a thrift store and find treasures. I believe that I'm gifted. I believe it's something that God, and what's beautiful about my story is that I wasn't raised in the thrift stores. I wasn't raised to have the thrift. And so it just, God just enlightened me on it about 20 years ago, and at the time I didn't have to thrift. I just put it that way. And so I began thrifting and found treasures, found beautiful things, garments, fur coats, and the only thing I have not found is a authentic bag yet. But anyway, shopping out of season. Everybody should shop out of season. Even in the thrift stores, you should shop out of season. You go from, if you are trying to get winter clothes, then you go in the summertime. If you want summer clothes, go in the wintertime. And that's for any store that you go in and shop at to be able to save money. Even in the thrift stores, you can do it with that as well, because they have savings and sales just like any other ordinary chain store does. So I think it's important to just shop out of season, get ahead of the game, and save and conserve on that way.
Okay. Well, like you said, it doesn't mean that your budget is there or not. Thrifting is just a great way to be able to go in and find some great, authentic different type of pieces that you won't see on everybody else. I know for me, like if I want a different blazer or something like that, I'll go to the thrift store because I know I'm not going to see it on everybody. It's a jewel just sitting in the store. So yeah, definitely all budgets can thrift. All budgets can go to Target and Walmart and find good things as well. And all budgets can go to Betsy Moore Boutique. So tell us about Betsy Moore Boutique and how that came about.
Well, that's exactly, you're right. So let me go back to the styling real quick, if you don't mind. So from thrifting and realizing that I was able to find treasures, I have sisters and nieces that I was able to buy and save for them. I had been thrifting for like 20 years, and I was able to buy them things, find things for them, and not just myself. And so that's where the styling part came in, at where I was able to style my sisters and my nieces, my mom and whoever, and save money and give them treasures. So just wanted to answer that real quick. And as far as like budget, everybody budget, one person budget may be $1 million, another person budget may be, $10. Whatever your budget is, or whatever your taste of clothing is, and whatever your, as you said, if you want something unique or eclectic or something different, you go to a thrift store, you go to a consignment store, go somewhere where everybody don't shop. So that's the uniqueness of how I started my business. Now, transitioning from thrifting to styling, and then from styling to opening up Betsy Moore Boutique. I had been thrifting for a long time, and I decided to open up a shop about 2 years ago. And when I opened up a shop, it was a small shop, a very small, like 10 by 10 foot little space where I rented like within like a mall. And so I rented this little small space, and after being there about a year, almost a year, I realized within that year that I had a larger clientele. And so from that larger clientele, there are certain pieces that you can find in thrift store, every size. You can find some things that are plus size, maybe not so much. And so I had to quickly transition in order to stay in my business. I had to quickly transition to wholesale, or what we call wholesale, or new items, quantity items. And so after realizing my clientele was increasing and enhancing, I was able to service different types of people, and everybody don't like vintage. Vintage is like wine, everybody have an acquired taste, or a different taste of wine, or different taste of food. Everybody don't like vintage. And so I was able to realize that quickly, that my business was increasing, and my desire for clients, or clients that wanted different things, led me to the wholesale world. And so that's when I launched Betsy Moore Boutique. I transitioned from thrifting to wholesale, and in that I realized that Betsy Moore catered to every woman, every size woman, every style woman, and not just necessarily thrift. So I was able to transition, and that's how Betsy Moore came about. And Betsy Moore is a very important name to me, because it is my grandmother, and my grandmother is the lady that taught me class. She raised me. She taught me class. She taught me about pearls. She taught me the etiquette of dressing, eating, and that kind of thing. And so in her honor, I named my store after her, and that's where Betsy Moore came from. And I launched her a year ago, and so that's where I am now.
Awesome. And we're excited you're here, and looking forward to the mini fashion show that you're going to show us, showing some spring things that are coming, and giving us some tips on how to dress. And so we're going to take a break. Coming up on our segment of Dear Younger Me, hear what Miss Atkins has to say to the young Sonya on the Josilyn Drake Show. We'll be right back.
This segment of the show is entitled Dear Younger Me. It is our hope that this portion of the show will encourage someone that may feel they can't make it out of where they are. So we're going to ask you this question with the belief that something you say will encourage, inspire, motivate, or help someone else to win. What would you say to the younger you that may have been discouraged, worried, ashamed, afraid, hopeless, or angry? And how old is the young Sanjay?
The young Sanja is about, I'll say, 12 years old. And what I would say to her from my age now, talking to the young girl Sonya, would be to live boldly, live without fear, make choices that will benefit your future and not just your temporary youthful.
So tell us about our first model.
We have Miss Rachel. She has on a striped jumper and a polka dot blazer. I love that outfit because it's something that you can wear to work. That's something that I would wear to the bank. It's a contrast of fabric, and it's also a contrast of texture, and it's also a unique piece, something you can wear out to dinner and transition with that blazer, from that blazer to taking that blazer off and then wearing it to dinner or out with your girlfriends. Yeah. I love the different fabrics and the different styles that we have complemented together. And always pearls. My grandmother was a big pearl person, so I always accentuate or accent any outfit, or you can always accent any outfit, whether it's casual or dressy instead of pearls. And I like the purse she has.
I love the different patterns.
So we got the different patterns going on. Stripes, polka dots, and flowers are always complementary to each other. They're always great together. And that's something, like I said, if you're going to work, you can wear it to work, maybe the bank or some office job, and be able to take that jacket off and maybe go to dinner or something like that. So it's a transitional outfit that I love.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Rachel. And our next model?
We have our next model is Tanja. She has on a black elastic or spandex dress with a set of pearls. I love those shoes she has on. I call it my first lady look. I love that dress. It has some bows on the sleeves. It's a collar neck with a floral type of collar neck. And accented with another set of pearls. I am a pearl girl. She looks absolutely gorgeous, ready for church. My first lady look, I love those shoes. Look at that, those casual shoes complement that real conservative dress. That's something that I would wear even to a banquet or after party or maybe possibly a wedding. That's a beautiful, beautiful black piece. Black is always bright. I appreciate this time.
Thank you so much, Tanja.
Yes.
Our next model?
We have Miss Crystal. She's wearing a A-line fitted dress. I love this pink rose coat. This is a coat that you can wear all season long. That is a dress that you can wear during the winter, the spring, the summer, and the fall. I like to call this dress the date night dress. This is a dress where Crystal and her husband Eric can wear this out. She can also wear that to a wedding. And the one strap shoe is always an accent piece that every woman needs. And you don't want to fight with this particular dress. You want it to speak for itself. So I put on a complimentary necklace with a tassel to complement her hair, as well as her purse. And I think the rose color is just such a beautiful color on her skin. Any woman, especially of ethnicity, it's a beautiful color for any woman. In any place. So I think that's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece to wear to a wedding or out to dinner with your spouse.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Up next, Sonia has some wise words for us on today's segment of Wisdom Speak. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it.
The segment of the show is entitled Wisdom Speaks. Wisdom is the ability to apply what you know. What wisdom have you learned along the way that you think will benefit your audience?
My answer would be the wisdom now is to live unapologetically. Don't second guess yourself. If you feel right, if you feel comfortable with your decision, live out loud, live your best you, and don't live for someone else, live for yourself.
So the fashion show was simply awesome. Thank you so much. We look forward to the second half of that. So can you tell me, or let our viewing audience know, I believe that you should wear clothes and clothes shouldn't wear you. Mm-hmm. So kind of give us some tips on how to make sure that you're wearing your clothes and they're not wearing you.
That's a good thing, because I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 1 Peter 3 and 4 that talks about your garments should not overpower you or let your inner beauty you let your inner beauty, your heart and your mind and your spirit overpower your clothes. Mm-hmm. So spiritually speaking, I really think that when you have self-esteem and when you have confidence about yourself that comes from God, that comes from God alone, then you're able to wear your garments and your garments not wear you. Because I don't do name brands. I mean, it's okay to wear name brands. It's okay to have unique pieces. It's okay to have expensive pieces. Just don't let it wear you, because we can be here today and gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And clothes should not never talk for you. Your heart and your spirit should speak for you more so than your clothes.
Tell us about fit. I think some people wear, well, not to say some people, you can wear your clothes too big, you can wear your clothes too tight, or you can wear your clothes where they fit. You can wear your pants too long. You can wear your shirts too long. Can you kind of help us with that etiquette part of, making sure that your clothes fit? I know everybody have a different taste, but, it's some things that are too far to the left, too far to the right.
Well, everybody is different, and so people like to wear their clothes different. Some people like to accentuate certain parts of their body. Some people like to disguise certain parts of their body, and maybe not so much. So everybody has a different taste. So there's no real right or wrong when it comes to the way you wear your clothes. As long as you're comfortable, as long as you feel great, as long as you feel excited about your clothes, or you feel good about the way your things fit you. Because some people, depending on your body proportion, the way God made you, some people may like their legs, may not like their arms. So if they like their legs, they're going to wear short dresses. They may be not so tasteful to some people, but then that's what that person wants to do. So it's really kind of hard to critique or to set a standard with what people comfort level is. So I just try to compliment every person according to what their desire is, according to what they like, according to how comfortable they feel, be it something fitted, something long or short. However, I do believe in alterations. So depending on what that person like, or if I deem that it needs to be adjusted some form of fashion, and I'm able to do that as well. So
now, getting back to fit, not necessarily to say, what a person's take on or how they like to look. What I was asking is, sometimes you can do things to think, say for instance, if you want to look a little thinner, you would do some things that you think is causing you to look thin, but in essence you're really doing things that are making you cause to look the opposite. So can you kind of give us some tips on that? Like, if you want to look thinner, what would you wear and how would you wear it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as far as fit is concerned.
Well, spandex is always a girl's best friend. So of course, I recommend any type of undergarments that you can wear to help bring in those areas that, for the most part, with African American women, a lot of times it's the stomach area. So you definitely want to have your great spank and have your undergarments to be able to make you look thinner. That's one of the ways to make you look thinner. Depending on what style or texture or fabric it is that you're wearing, then you want to adjust yourself, be it a slip or your spandex, that kind of thing are usually the basics to be able to wear something like that if that's your comfort level. A spandex or something like that. Or
so what about patterns? Like some patterns, if you're a certain size, you don't want to wear those patterns because it may make it appear larger or smaller. So can you help us with that?
Yeah, most people, the rule is flowers and stripes, the angles of stripes. Horizontal or vertical or whatever. Most people like to be very careful with stripes according to your size. Well, with me, I'm a little different type of stylist, a very unique stylist, where I like to allow people to be free to wear what they want to wear. I don't think there's no real rules. There are rules, but the rules doesn't apply to me and the people that I choose to service or choose me to service them. So I'm not real strict when it comes to floral prints or flower, or stripes, or which way a stripe is going. But for the most part, I will say that most people like to shy away from polka dots because they make you look bigger, or a certain style of polka dots, whether it be a black polka dot or a white polka dot. All that stuff matters, whether it be a big flower or a small flower, or stripes, like I said, either going straight or across. So some women like to disguise their size or disguise certain parts of their bodies, and so my biggest thing is flowers and stripes are usually the two patterns, and polka dots are the three patterns that most people try to shy away from. But I think depending on how you wear it, if you have a small top, a smaller top and a larger bottom, then you may want to wear stripes at the top and flowers at the bottom, and it still allow you to look good. It still allow you to wear fabrics and wear things that you think you can't wear, or that somebody told you can't wear. Just wear it in a certain area of your body that seems smaller.
Okay. So I get that, where you're saying that you don't necessarily shy away from the particular patterns, but how you wear the patterns.
It's how you wear the patterns.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. So, do you believe fashion can be a cover-up, a way to mask really what's going on the inside? You know, everybody wants to look good, but sometimes I don't know if it's maybe a fake it till you make it, or if it's just I'm portraying something to kind of cover up where I am, and nothing's wrong with that. But just kind of as you spoke earlier about the scripture in James about your inner beauty, you know, focusing on your inward self, let that also be really your most focused area, and then your clothes, you know, kind of secondary. Not trying to let your clothes really say who you are. Who you are is who you are on the inside. So, can you speak to that?
Yeah, well, everybody is in different stages in life, and so with being in different stages of life, be it self-esteem, low self-esteem, marriage, no marriage, barren, not fruitful, just depending on what's going on in your personal, emotional, psychological life, determines how you dress and how you feel about yourself. So really, we really need to get down to the nitty-gritty, which is the internal side of man. Once you fix that, then you can wear whatever you want to. I can actually, it almost seems judgmental, but sometimes I can look at a person and tell where they're broken at by the way they wear. So what you're wearing, honestly, is a part of who you are. And so when you get out of the bed, you must make some type of statement, some type of statement of how you feel about yourself, because what you wear on the outside is usually an indication of what's going on the inside. So I think they should complement each other. And so if you're feeling good about yourself, I'll put it this way: I dress according to how I feel every day. I literally get up and say, well, I'm going to wear something. I mean, because of who I am and what I stand for and the way I try to market myself, and depending on what type of line of work you do. Some people that have to wear uniforms all the time may not want to wear clothes that are dressed up or wear what we consider dressed up. They may just want to throw on a jogging suit. But if you put on that jogging suit and wear it the right way, it's okay, you know. Then there are some people that have to wear suits all the time to work. They want to dress casual, or they want to wear jeans or wear something. It's just all about how you wear it and how you feel about yourself, and allowing your spirit to speak for you when it comes to your clothes. Because every day I wake up, some days I may wake up and say, I want to put on sequins. Well, typically the norm, or what we say, sequins should be worn at a certain time of day. Sequins should be not worn to a certain place. I wake up some mornings and say, I'm going to put on a sequins jacket. I'm going to wear a sequin because I feel fabulous. I feel like part of the sun, and I'm going to shine today. And part of the way I'm going to shine today is through this sequins jacket.
Why I brought that up is, you know, we go through these different cycles, and sometimes you get into debt, just spending, you know, trying to show someone on the outside that I'm good, I'm okay. You know, it's a cover up. And I think that the reason why I brought internal issues, once we can deal with those internal issues, then we won't keep getting into this debt situation, and we can kind of get our lives in order and into focus. Because now we're not trying to portray we're somebody, we know we're somebody, and then we can wear those clothes, you know, and they don't wear us. So can you kind of add to that a little bit?
Yeah, because you said it. I mean, it's what's on the inside, and most people, or I don't say most people, but some people do try to cover up or try to feel validated, so to speak, by what they wear and what they're driving and all that good stuff. Some of it, you know, men drive certain cars, you know, to validate themselves, and women do it with clothes and purses and stuff like that, and things that we wear. But it's all an internal.
Next week on the Josilyn Drake Show, grief is a multifaceted response to loss, especially the loss of a loved one. My guest, Maggie Banjer, a certified grief recovery specialist, will share with us how to go through the grieving process well. That's next week on the Josilyn Drake Show. You don't want to miss it. But right now, listen to Sonia Atkins spill some tea on today's Inquiry Minds Want to Know. We'll be right back to conclude our interview with stylist Sonia Atkins.
This segment of the show is entitled Inquiry Minds Want to Know. If you knew then what you know now, would you change your preparation strategy for having your twin sons?
Would I change my preparation? I would not change anything, because my twin boys are a representation of God's grace, God's healing power, and God's phenomenal wisdom on how He operates and how He does things. So no, I would not change a thing.
With our second half of our mini fashion show, tell us about our next model.
Okay, we have Miss Rachel.
Spring is coming up. We're in transition with the weather in the great Alabama, and so in order to be stylish, be sexy, be fabulous, as Rachel is, what you'll do is you'll put on a spring or summer piece just to kind of show your personality, like this floral spandex dress. But because of the season that we're in and the transition of the weather, you would add a cardigan or something to accentuate and to cover up so that you won't be cold and still be stylish. So I love the way this cardigan is complementing this floral spring dress. So this is one of my spring pieces that Rachel is wearing, but because of it not being quite warm as I would like it to be, then you just add a cardigan or something as she had on this olive green. Olive green is also a color that you can wear all year round because it reminds me of trees. So if any color, I believe that never will go out of season, whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter, it is olive green. Also, as the great designers Gucci has said, floral prints is always a print that's all season as well. And I really agree with them because I think flowers is a representation of blossoming and a representation of love and self-love, and so I really like that piece that Rachel is wearing.
I love it too, and I love the way you brought out the baby blue into that piece.
Yes, with that complimentary clutch. The clutch is always fabulous, especially a clutch with flowers on it, so she looks absolutely gorgeous.
Awesome, thank you, Rachel. Tell us about our next model.
We have Miss Tanja wearing a very vibrant red lace dress. High-low, it's high in the front, low in the back. She has on some beautiful boots. And because, like I said, we're transitioning from one season to the next. And so when you're transitioning, you want to always have a bootie or have some type of shortcut boot that you can wear all year round or you can wear in between seasons. So I really like the fact that we're wearing red on red. Some people would do that, but it's a different shade of red. Is what I like about this, with the little clutch gold buckles on the booties, the pearl necklace, and the pearl purse is absolutely gorgeous. This is also a nice dress with an underlay under it that I would wear to church, or maybe possibly a wedding, out to dinner, a formal, a semi-formal occasion of any kind. I would wear this dress. The pearls always are gorgeous and complement any fabric, any color that you want to wear. So I think she looks absolutely gorgeous.
I agree, beautiful. Thank you so much. And lastly, tell us about our last model.
All right, we have Miss Crystal with a beautiful spring dress. It looks iridescent, or it looks, as we call it, psychedelic from like the 70s. That's a beautiful spandex fabric with the puffy sleeves. It's very bold, magazine ready. This is a piece I would wear in a fashion photo shoot. If you want to send a message or be able to show your style off, you definitely want to wear a piece like what Crystal is wearing. It's blue and yellow. It's very complimentary to her as well, I think, because that's part of her 3 colors. So she looks absolutely amazing in her piece. Great for church. I would wear this church. I would wear that to a wedding. Also, a photo shoot is absolutely gorgeous. I love that blue and yellow.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome back to the Josilyn Drake Show. So as we get ready to conclude our interview, thank you so much for coming. But let me ask you, tell us some of the coming trends for this spring season.
As I said, with the models Rachel and Tanja, floral prints, of course, is always in. It's just a matter of how you wear them. You know, if you wear a top or bottom. Flowers, the colors are, believe it or not, blue. Blue is one of the colors for this coming season. Blue and green. It's always right because it's just like the earth, and you can't get around blue and green. Everything is blue and green.
Is that navy blue, dark blue?
Different shades of blue.
Okay.
Different shades of blue. Different shades of blue. And that's what's so amazing about this season right here. There's so many turquoise. I even have a turquoise piece right now, I think. just to represent the colors that's coming out to let people know. I try to wear colors to help people know what to wear when it comes to fashion or the next season. So blue and green is part of the colors for this coming spring. So if I had a baby, a newborn, instead of for Easter, I would instead of wearing pink or yellow, I would probably find some sort of baby blue.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Sonia Atkins, for joining us. We really appreciate you, and thank you for sharing with us your models and the awesome styles.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You're welcome.
Thanks for watching. The Josilyn Drake Show never stops. The conversation continues on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us, like us, and be a part of the conversation. Also, tune in on Thursdays at 5 p.m. to XL Radio and listen to the Josilyn Drake Radio Show. Until next time, enjoy life. See you next week on the Josilyn Drake Show. Log on to jocelyndrake.com and get your Dear Younger Me apparel. Get Josilyn's new single from her upcoming sophomore album, In This Place, on iTunes and all digital outlets.